Okay, dear all the participants of the oral presentation in this afternoon session, we will immediately start this session. My name is Novita Ana Anggraini. Here I am as your moderator to direct our session for this afternoon. Before starting, I will ask all the participants to try the audio. Please try the all audio.
Tes.
Okay, Mas Satria, can?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, can I hear? Maybe.
Halo.
Tes, halo. Halo.
Okay, Mas Satria is okay, no problem.
Halo, Siti Hamidah.
Siti Hamidah is okay, can clearly. And then Vivin.
Ya.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ganda. Unmute. Please unmute.
Okay.
Okay, clearly. And then Mr. Satria. Eureka.
Tes.
Okay. And then Mrs. Etti Suryani. Mrs. Etti Suryani. No, not 10. Or the other team, maybe. Mrs. Etti Suryani, not 10 now. Oh, okay. Mrs. Etti Suryani, not 10 now. And then Mrs. Fauzia Lili.
Yes.
Okay, clearly. And then Mr. Kodrat Pramudho. Mr. Kodrat Pramudho, please unmute. Mr. Kodrat Pramudho, unmute. Please. Okay. Thank you for all the participants. We will start the presentation with the following rules. The first, all the participants will present the material first, and then each participant get 10 minutes to present their article. And then discussion and question and answer session are at the end of the following panel session. And if a participant is not ready when called, it will be followed by the next participant. Meanwhile, participants who are left behind will be called back at the end of the session. Okay, please prepare yourself. We will start our presentation with participant number 57, Mrs. Siti Hamidah, with the title is Hypnotherapy to Promote Weight Loss at First Trimester on Pregnant Mother with Emesis Gravidarum. Okay, Mrs. Hamidah have time 10 minutes to present your research. We will to help you to start your PowerPoint. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm so sorry. Before Mrs. Hamidah to start this presentation, we will to give information for the last session. Participant number 64 till 7, Mrs. Hidayati Ratna, and then with Mrs. Dwi Sulistianto, Mrs. Sulistiawati Rahayu, Mr. Arif Mustafa, Mrs. Weni Putri Susanti, Mrs. Lisna PT, and Mr. Anang Sumaryono. please you can move to room 4 to join the Zoom for the last session. Okay, I repeat the information. Please, the participant number 64 till 7, please move in the room 4 because Dara will do start his presentation in room 4. Okay. Okay, thank you. That is for the information. And then continue to Hamidah. Are you ready, Bu Hamidah?
Ready.
Okay, Bu Hamidah, you have time 10 minutes for present your research.
Yes.
Okay, time is yours.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will present my article entitled Hypnotherapy to Promote Weight Loss at First Trimester on Pregnant Mother with MSIS Gravidarum. Next slide. Next slide. Background. The nutritional status of pregnant women affect the growth and development of the fetus in the womb. Poor or poor nutritional status result in chronic energy deficiency at risk and the risk of stunting for babies. Nutritional need during pregnancy have increased by 15%. If not met, there is a risk of developing fetal defect of or low birth weight, anemic babies, and even neonatal death. The average maternal weight gain during pregnancy is 10 until 15 kilogram. Normally, the first trimester, the increase of 1 kilogram each month. Next. In increase in body weight of pregnant woman has big and the body weight at child height of the baby born. The first trimester of pregnancy and increase in the hormone progesterone and estrogen affect appetite. Around 60 until 80%, no appetite and body weight doesn't increase and even decreases. Hypnotherapy and relaxed, calm, and focused condition reduces stress, panic, can suppress drop for pregnant woman. Preliminary study on October 15, 20, and 19 at Muhammadiyah Gersi Hospital. 10 of the pregnant women in the first trimester via 10 mother, 33% who experience weight loss. Monitoring the weight of pregnant women is carried out at every visit to the hospital until the pregnant woman gives birth. This is purposes to determine the effect of hypnotherapy on first trimester pregnant woman, which MSIS gravidarum on their maternal weight gain. Next. Research method. This research is quasi-experiment type with a time series designed from April to September 20 and 19. Population is all first trimester pregnant women who experience MSIS gravidarum at Muhammadiyah Gersi Hospital. Sampling is 100 respondents. sampling inclusion criteria is a pregnant woman who examined at Muhammadiyah Girls Hospital which complained of emesis gravidarum, the number of children less or equal to 4 people and didn't have comorbidities. Research variable, independent variable is hypnotherapy intervention, and dependent variable, weight of pregnant woman after getting the research sample. Pregnant woman will be given hypnotherapy intervention, then see their weight at the first visit, second visit, and third visit in the first trimester of pregnancy. Next. Data collection instrument, KIA book, and data analysis, univariate analysis is continuous data and categorical data, and divariate analysis is the distribution of data is not normal and normal homogeneous, then using the Friedman test. Data analysis using IBM SPSS 23 software. Next. Result, univariate analysis mother egg 20 until 35, 90%, less than 20 years is 2%. Mother education, senior high school, 65%, primary school, 6%. Mother job, housewife, 48%, and teacher, 4%. Paritas, primipara, 54%, multipara is 46%. Next, bivariate analysis. The height body weight is shown in body weight at the third visit after hypnotherapy is 2.99 kilogram, while the lowest body weight is shown in body weight at the first visit after hypnotherapy is 1.01 kilogram, and the first visit, the lowest body weight was 34 kilogram, while the his body weight was 78.9 kilogram. At the second visit, the lowest body weight was 34.9 kilogram, while the highest body weight was 79 kilogram. And the third visit, the lowest body weight was 34 kilogram, and highest body weight was 80.1 kilogram. The output table of the Friedman test statistical test show the result of the number P equals 0.001, meaning that H0 is rejected, that is, there is a difference in the average weight gain in the three groups of measuring time interval. Is P less 0.05. Thus, it can be concluded that hypnotherapy can actually increase maternal weight with emesis gravidarum during first trimester pregnancy. Next, most of 60 until 60% pregnant women experience morning sickness, and as many as 1 until 2% of all pregnant women experience extreme morning sickness. Pregnant women will experience various problems such as dehydration, fluid and electrolyte balance disorders, fatigue, and acid-base disorders, and tear in the esophagus and stomach, which can cause pain and even bleeding that can harm both the mother and the fetus. Next. Next. Conclusion. The conclusion of this research is that there is an effect of hypnotherapy which kind of pregnant woman hypnotherapy can influence mother psychologically about the importance of eating during pregnancy for the health of mother and babies, which is effective in every behavior and education of complaints that occur during pregnancy due to pain control such as muscle relaxation, change is perfection and reduction of cognitive disorders, so that pregnant women are in a condition relaxed. Thank you very much. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kan tutup.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Hamidah, for your present. I think you still have 2 minutes, but it's okay, no problem. Okay, and then for the next participant, is participant number 58, Mrs. Vivin Nur Hafifah. And the title is Effect on Hypertension and Lifestyle History of Events on Stroke in the District Probolinggo. Mrs. Vivin?
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly your voice. Okay, you have time, 10 minutes for this present. Okay, wait, we will to help you to start your PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greeting to all of us. We are grateful for the health favors and opportunity that God has given us so that we can gather in international conference. On this occasion, I will deliver a presentation of research entitled Effect of Hypertension and Lifestyle History of Event on Stroke in the District Probolinggo. The next. Background. Stroke is a disease of the blood vessel of the brain that is characterized disruption of brain function due to damage or tissue, that due to reduction or blockage of blood flow of oxygen to the brain. Blood flow to the brain is reduced due to narrowing, blockage, or bleeding. Risk factor important to know in order to avoid and prevent stroke. These factors include hypertension and lifestyle. The design of this research is analytic correlation with cross-sectional approach. Venue and time in District Probolinggo is Java from 16 to 26 October 2019. And subject, a sample of 131 stroke survivor was selected by cluster random sampling. Next. Yes, I'm sorry, independent variable, not history hypertension, but dependent variable is stroke incident rate. And independent variable, history of hypertension and lifestyle. Among them, history of a high fat diet, lack of physical activity, emotional stress, smoking habits. And analysis collected by questionnaire. Data were analyzed by bivariate analysis. Next. Result, influmac directly. The result of ordinal regression analysis of hypertensive history variable indicates significant 0.047 or less than alpha 0.05. Indirect influmax lifestyle, among them history of a high fat diet, physical activity, emotional stress, and smoking habits. The next conclusion, history of hypertension has the most dominant tendency in influmax the incidence of stroke, especially ischemic stroke in Probolinggo district. Among them in Puskesmas Maroa, Kerenjengan, and Glaga. This is the documentation. The next. Thank you for your attention. More or less, I'm sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Vivin Nur Hafifah. Okay, directly to the next participant, participant number 59, Mr. Ganda Ardiansyah and Soni Wahidri Cahyono, and the title is Health Education on the First Handling of Snakebite to the Level of Community Knowledge. Okay, wait a minute, we will to help you to share your PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, Mr. Ganda, you can start now.
Okay, thank you, moderator, for the time that has been given to me. Excuse me, all participants of Strada International Conference of Health. I will be present my research and team in Health Academy Satria Nganjuk. My title, Health Education on the First Handling of Snake Bite to the Level of Community Knowledge. Background, snake bite adjacent to the residential area causes the interaction between human and snakes which can eventually push the risk of the bite. Many poisonous snake bites causes toxic effect on the body can even cause disability until death. Nganjuk Regency is one of the cities in East Java province where there are many rice field, plantation, mountain, and forest. Community knowledge play a crucial role in dealing with snake bite case, but the fact acquired society is still lacking right in the first handling of snake bite, so that many inflict victims. Some people are still found, when exposed to snake bite, not taken to health center, but taken to the traditional medicine. Purpose of this research is to know the influence of health education about the first handling of snake bite to the level of community knowledge in the hamlet Samlam Cutek village, Blongko, district Metos, Nganjuk Regency. Next slide. My method, the design of this research use pre-experiment with one group approach pre-post-test design. The study was conducted on 21 March 2020. Population is the whole community of Salam Cutek Hamlet, village Blongko, district Metos in Nganjuk Regency, as many as 48 families. Sampling using purposive sampling, sample of 32 respondents, independent variable with health education, we make video and demonstration, and dependent variable on the level of community knowledge about the first handling of snake bit data collection using questionnaire. Statistical analysis using Wilcoxon with significant level of alpha 0.05. Next slide. The result showed that the level of public knowledge about the first handling of snake bit before given health education was likely to have a poor level of knowledge, which was 24 respondents or 75%. After being administered, health education almost entirely has a good level of knowledge, which is as many as 27 respondents, or 84.4%. Statistical test result obtained p-value equal 0.00, alpha equal 0.05, p-value less than equal to alpha, so my hypothesis alternative is acceptable. Many health education about the first handling of snake bit affect the level of community knowledge in the hamlet Salam Judek Village, Blongko, District Petos, Nganjuk Regency. Next slide. Conclusion, providing health education as a learning process and means of information delivery can help improve people's knowledge on how to handle snake bit properly. Next slide. Okay, thank you. Don't be afraid of snakes. Stay careful and handle them appropriately. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Ganda. Okay, remember, I giving information for all participants. If you have any question, you can strictly to write in the chat box. Maybe you have any question, but the discuss will start after the all participants to finish this session. Okay, for the next participant, the participant number 60, Mr. Satria Eureka Nurseskasatmata, and the title is How Students' Mental Health Affected During the COVID-19 Pandemic, Literature Review. Okay, Mr. Satria, you have time, 10 minutes for presentation.
Okay, thank you. My voice is come out. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Satria from Kadiri University. Right now, I would like to presenting our paper, which title is How Student Mental Health Affected During the COVID-19 Pandemic, a Literature Review. Next page, please. Okay, in this presentation, we divide into 4 chapters. First chapter is background. Second chapter is objective and method. Third chapter is result and discussion. Fourth chapter is acknowledgement. Next page, please. Okay. First chapter, background. As the world continues to battle day-to-day issues of the coronavirus pandemic, one aspect is increasing the problem of mental health for students. As schools have closed down and had suddenly transitioned to online classes, students with pre-existing mental health problems such as stress disorder, general anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, or loneliness have become more vulnerable due to lockdown policies and showed itself in different ways. Lockdown, travel restrictions, school closing, and social physical distancing have created a level of social isolation previously unseen across the globe. This upend for many can profound consequences on one's mental health. Next pages, please. Chapter 2 is objective. The objective of this paper is to analyze the impact of isolation, policies, and the spread of COVID-19 on student mental health. Next, please. Okay. The method, research journal database. We have collected 19 articles, which using search engine Google Scholar, World Journal of Pharmaceutical and Medical Research, ResearchGate, Science Direct, and Frontiers. We collected about 19 articles, and then we specified them into 9 articles based on keywords such as student, COVID-19, mental health, epidemic, and college that we have created. Next pages, please. This is a summary of our articles. The first is Tang et al. Tang et al. Describe as explained about exposure of the outbreak of the COVID-19 had direct effect on PTSD and depression. The second is Chen et al. 2020. Chen explained that isolation policies had direct effect of the 5 symptom depression, neurasthenia, fear, OCD, and hypochondria. Chow et al. 2020. It explained that economic influence to the anxiety, academic delays, influence of the epidemic daily life. The fourth is Odriozola Gonzalez et al. 2020. It explained about the participant reported moderate to extremely severe depression symptom, reported moderate to extremely anxiety symptom, reported moderate to extremely stress related to outbreak and lockdown as moderate or severe IES, which is impact of event scale. The fifth is Surya Devara et al. 2020. It explained about reported extremely severe depression, anxiety, and stress. Next pages, please. Hakim et al. 2020. It explained about COVID-19 pandemic identified significantly increased sedentary time, depression, and anxiety. Conto Angelos et al. 2020. It showed that students express of anxiety, fear, worry because of this COVID-19 outbreak. The next is San et al. 2020. Yeah, it explained about most student concern of their study and fear that their clinical skills will remain inadequate. The last is Irawan et al. 2020. It showed that anxiety in the middle and lower economic family is more significant affected. Next pages, please. The discussion, we separated into 5 major groups, which is the first is stress, anxiety, and depression, which is students were afflicted with experience higher level of stress, anxiety, and depression because of the COVID-19 outbreak. The second is anxiety depression, caused by the gradually increasing distances between people resulting from the quarantine. Depression have become more vulnerable due to lockdown policies, the lack of social contact and activities, the dramatic disruption of the routine, and the burden of the online classes. The third is economic aspect. The stability of the family income was a significant factor in student experience anxiety during the COVID-19 crisis, which could be explained by increased psychological and economic pressure. The last is educational institution, establishing a mental health post that comprise a psychiatrist, psychologist, dean, or senior faculty members of the institution, and then family nurse in the context to keep the mental balance of the family who supports the student during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next pages, please. Okay, there are 2 major conflict of interest on this literature review. The first is how student in the department that has skill in his competencies in the form in the design of the online learning, especially clinical skills in the case of such as medical student or engineering student. The second is regulation, how regulation of educational institution in accommodation in such a way that graduates in this pandemic era still have the expected competencies.
Wow.
Next pages, please.
I
Last but not least, thanks to all who have been involved and supported in completing this research. Thank you, moderator. Time and place yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Satria. That's very interesting, your literature review. Okay, for the next session is Mrs. Etti Suryani. Mrs. Etti Suryani, attend?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Etti Suryani will to present the research. The title is Determinant Analysis of Low Birth Weight Among Young Pregnant Women in Blitar District. You have 10 minutes for presentation. Time is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, all participants. I'm Etti Suryani, postgraduate student of Strada Indonesia. And now I will present my research with the title Determinant Analysis of Low Birth Weight Among Young Pregnant Women in Blitar District. Next slide. The background of my research: low birth weight is leading cause of infant mortality in Indonesia, and its prevalence tends to increase from year to year, and that also happened in Blitar District. Next slide. The research the study aim is to analyze determinant of gravidas status, routine antenatal care, and comorbidities in low birth weight among young pregnant women in Blitar District. Comorbidities here include anemia, chronic lack of energy, HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. Next slide. The method. The research design was case control using proportional cluster random sampling from 24 public health centers in Blitar District with sample 223 respondents. The statistical analysis used the binary logistic regression test. Next slide. This is the result of my research. The majority of respondents were primigravida by 96%, and 10.3% did not attend routine antenatal care. 30% suffer comorbidities, but none of them suffer HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. And 20 baby deliver low birth weight, and 20 deliver low birth weight baby. Next slide. The statistical analysis of logistic regression, so there was no influence from gravida status and comorbidities, and routine antenatal care indicate p-value of 0.000, which means it was determined low birth weight among young pregnant women in Blitar District. Next slide. The odds ratio was 10.06, which means the group of less than 20 years old pregnant women who were not attend routine antenatal care had a risk of 10 times to deliver a low birth weight baby compared to the group of young pregnant women who attend routine antenatal care. Next slide. Conclusion. First, there was no influence from gravida status and comorbidities toward low birth weight among young pregnant women in Blitar. Second, the study demonstrated that routine antenatal care was influential factor toward low birth weight among young pregnant. Next slide. Okay, that's all my presentation, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Etti Suryani for this presentation. Okay, for our participants, if you have question, please write in the chat box. Okay, for the next participant, the participant number 62, Mrs. Fauzia Lili. Mrs. Fauzia Lili, hello.
Yes, I am.
Okay, the title is The Effect of Administering Honey on the Increasing of Hemoglobin Level of Pregnant Women with Anemia. And we have time, 10 minutes for the presentation. Okay, we will to help share your PowerPoint. Okay, start from now.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, moderator and all participants at the International Conference on Health. Before I present my material, I would like to introduce my team in this research. There are Mrs. Weni, Mrs. Siti, and me. We are come from Midwifery Department, Kadiri University. Okay, I will start to present. The title of this research is The Effect of Administering Honey on the Increasing of Hemoglobin Level of Pregnant Women with Anemia. Next. Okay, thank you. Background this research, our anemia in pregnancy is one of the most common problems in pregnant women. Based on risk studies in 2013, the results show low levels of hemoglobin in pregnant women by 37.1%. Incidence of anemia in pregnancy is an indirect cause of maternal and fetal death, and one of the efforts that can be done by consuming honey routinely during pregnancy. Next. Thank you. This research use pre-experimental with one group pretest post-test design. The venue in BPM Kediri is Java on March 2017. The subject is a sample of 16 pregnant women with anemia. Next. Dependent variable is hemoglobin level and independent variable is administering honey. Analysis is collected by observation of hemoglobin level before and after consuming honey, and data were analyzed by Wilcoxon analysis. Next. Okay. The results of this research is so that there are meaningful level difference of hemoglobin before and after consuming honey, and it shows that p-value is smaller than alpha. P-value is 0.0002. Next. Okay, indirect influence, there are age, education, and gestational age, and then parity. Next. The conclusion of this research is the result of this study show a significant influence of honey administration on the increase in HB levels in pregnant women with anemia. Honey contains excellent nutrients, including Fa, so it can increase level of HB, and it can be used as one of the alternative treatment in women with anemia. Okay, that the last my presentation. Thanks for the time and thanks for your attention all. Thanks all to moderator. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mrs. Fauzia. And the last participant number 63, Mr. Kodrat Pramudho, with the title is called Participation in Public Health Activities in the Jabodetabek Region Year 2020. Mr. Kodrat, you have time to 10 minutes for presentation. Time is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Kodrat Pramudho from Master Program in University of Mitra Lampung. Thank you to the author and to the Eureka Strada for providing opportunity to join SICH and all participants from all. I will to send a small picture on the role of the scout in maybe only about okay, next thing. Scout participation in public health activities and the Jabodetabek training. Next. Background problem cannot be solved by an official alone, government only. The Scout movement with me member throughout Pramuka. Indonesia clearly has a very important role to solve problem. Member of Indonesia Scout have 3 million, and the the Ventura Scout of Penegak and Rovers Pandega Indonesia number around 3 million, 56 cents. Next. The study aims to observe the participant of the Scout who carry out the activities in the public in the Jabodetabek region and to identify which mass media cover report on the Scout activities. Not many the report Scout in mass media. Next. The research is qualitative by observing news Scout tentang berita news and Scout inform public health activities in electronic mass media, print media, online media from January to 2020. Source of research data are news about Scout activity in the public health, which are covered by electronic media, print media, and other published and online media. Next. Another source of data in the Scout and Scout Guards, Pembina Pramuka, or Pamong Saka Baktusada, who are willing to become informant. The analysis is carried out simple, tampering which media due to the most news coverage broadcast about Scout in the public health activities, and motivation makes Scout involved in public health activities. Jadi motivasinya. Okay, next. Data processing is carried out in identifying activities, identifying of mixed media, and informant data by means of the in-depth interview. Next. In the next. Result and discussion, table 1, most activity in the public health and carry out. Health activities, COVID-19 counseling, campaign using masks, CTPS campaign, cuci tangan, care for tuberculosis, care for Jabodetabek floods, banjir, fight garbage, sampah, drugs no way, avoid seduction to smoking, immunization for babies, maternal and child health, go to POSHIP, care for NCD, distributing groceries, helping disaster victims. The next. Next, table 2, mass media covering reports scouting activity in the public health during January and until June. Social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Pramuka, or ID, Scout Web, Detik Health, Newsroom, and electronic media, SCTV, TV1, RCTI, El Sinta Radio, TVRI, RRI, Scout Radio, TV local, and community radio. Print media, Tribun News, Kompas, Republika, Koran Tempo, Warta Kota, Pos Kota, Radar Bogor, Radar Basi, and Tangsel Pos. Okay, next. Several Scout Guards who we feel by reason after being asked why Scott want to help care for the community. The answer in essence, the duty of hero human to help each other. In it, according to the author of the Scott movement as a promise and commitment to in Scout, in Indonesian Scout have three Satria and Dharma Pramuka. Next. While the Scout Dharma that is relevant to Scouting concern, namely the second Dharma, love the nature and compassion for fellow humans, and the fifth Dharma, willing to help and be understanding. So that the issue of care, service Scout in some must be done because they keep their promise and commitment of Scout members. However, there are still many Scouts who are about the health sector that they are not equipped with personal protection equipment, APD, which will reduce the risk of danger and accident. Next. The conclusion, the involvement of the Scout in public health is quite often out the Jabodetabek region, according to health problem that exists in the local location. The Scout have been motivated by carrying out humanitarian activity because of faith and promise contained the three Dharma Pramuka. The online media, the mostly report on Van Scott and Robert Scott, the tagline is that every Scout is a reporter, and Scouting activity in the public health must be equipped with personal protection equipment (APD), which will reduce the risk there. The Scout movement must continue to collaborate with mass media, print, electronic, and online. Next. Ini picture Scout media for Scott give PPA for hospital. Next. The next. 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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the moderator, and
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kodrat Pramudho, and 7 participants was finished this presentation. We will to continue in the next session. Question, answer, and discuss. We have how many questions? We have 2 questions. Okay. We have 2 questions. The first question to Mr. Satria. Okay. The question for Mr. Satria is how we can handle depression in the pandemic era. Okay, Mr. Satria, you can hear my voice?
Okay, yes.
Okay, clearly or need to repeat?
How to handle depression of this pandemic era.
Okay,
Yeah.
I repeat, yeah. How we
Yeah.
can handle depression in the pandemic era.
Okay, my answer to the question is all the peoples, all the degree, all the groups, all the peoples, elderly children have affected during pandemic era COVID-19. How to handle? The first is to identify what it is, identify our capability of to handle stress. Yeah, depression itself is so because the level of stress is increasingly time by time. So the first action to handle depression is to maintain the stress, identify your capability to handle the stress, character, supporting system, kind of family, economical sector, and etc. We have to identify first, and then we try to spread the identification, which the conclusion is about to generate the problem of each identification, such as work. Is there any problem of the work? how the income, the family, and etc. And then, for example, for family, is there any family crisis about the COVID-19 internal or external? And then for maybe for student, maybe for student, is there an effect directly to student in a context of a family effect to the what is it, stress, etc. And then we can ask for what is it, help to health provider, maybe doctor, nurses, psychiatry, psychologists, and etc. This is the way that I have to read the recommendation in from we have WHO, we are the WHO, to maintain, to handle the depression itself. Maybe it just my explanation about how to handle depression during pandemic COVID-19. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Satria. That's question from Mrs. Ratnawardani, yeah. So identify to capable handle the stress, and then we must to know what is the causes of the stress. Maybe as like income. Because we need, for student, I think we need the more cost to buy pakai data.
Yeah, collecting data by questionnaire and etc. To collect information.
So and then the next to help the provider as like a doctor, psychologist, and then nursing or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
And then for the next question from Mr. Satria also to Mr. Ganda. Okay. What was all the samples belong into group at risk, such as a farmer or a random group? Is there any demos of the samples to handle snippet of continuing your research?
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ganda. I think strictly your answer or you wait. Because we have two questions again, so I think you waiting until I finish my question asked for the others participant, and then answer start from Mr. Ganda. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then for the next question for Mrs. Fauzia from Mrs. Fatima. The question for Mrs. Fauzia is whether the honey is used, there are criteria of honey, or all honey can affect hemoglobin pregnant woman. Okay, Mrs. Fauzia, you can clearly. Okay. And then wait. We have one question again from Mrs. Ratnawardani, but to Mr. Kodrat. Dr. Kodrat, we have question for you. The question is, from your qualitative analysis, could you make grouping about the activity of scores, for example, peace level? Okay, that is the question, three questions. I think start from Mr. Ganda, you can answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Satria, to question. Yeah. He was my friend during the master study. Right. What was all the sample belong into group at risk, such as farmer or random group? The sample in my study were a risk group, where farmer and live in forest and mountain area, which are snake habitat. Because the Salam Jutek district Blongko, Ngatos, Nganjuk Regency, it's a forest area with a mountain or hill. So the sample were a risk group because the population farmer in there. So Next, is there any demos of the sample to handle snack pit of continuing your research? Alhamdulillah, is still sustainable, Mr. Satria. Although we do demonstration role play handling snack pit with video one-time activity, but after research we give volunteer help in addition to video as well as a banner related to handling of snack pit to be fixed in some area in the village. We also advise to the community coordinate with the health center in the event of case, because majority the community if even snack pit traditional medicine. So we communicated to coordinated with the health center, is itu it's advice to community. And we are currently still monitoring cadre or volunteer health activities in the handling of snack pit until now. Next week, last week, this Mr. Satria. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Mr. Ganda. So the sample is group, yeah?
Yes.
Because for a year with forest, yeah.
Yeah.
For many farmers that and then you do also demonstration and make a planner so that's the respondent to easy or the community to easy to see the how the guidance for the
Yeah,
snack.
that's right.
Okay, thank you. And then for Mrs. Fauzia,
Yes.
you can answer
Yes.
this question. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I will answer in bahasa.
Yes.
Thank you. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya Ibu Senul Khotimah. Sangat sangat bagus sekali pertanyaannya. Jadi apakah semua madu bisa digunakan untuk treatment pada pasien atau pada kondisi anemia? Jadi pada penelitian kami di sini kami menggunakan madu hutan. Jadi spesial memang berdasarkan beberapa referensi yang kami dapat, madu hutan ini mengandung komponen yang mana memang salah satu manfaat dari madu hutan adalah untuk mengatasi anemia. Namun untuk madu jenis lain pun memang banyak manfaat dan kandungan nutrisinya, sehingga ini juga tentunya akan membantu juga dalam penyerapan dari tablet FE atau dari zat besi itu sendiri, yang mana memang kandungan vitamin C di dalam madu itu cukup tinggi, sehingga madu yang lain pun memang bisa juga membantu untuk mengatasi masalah anemia. Kemudian selain itu pada kandungan madu itu juga mengandung zat tembaga yang memang zat tembaga ini apabila kadarnya berkurang dalam tubuh itu juga akan berisiko terhadap anemia. Jadi beberapa kandungan pada madu atau seperti yang tadi saya sebutkan, baik itu vitamin C, kemudian airnya sendiri dan juga zat tembaga itu yang membantu untuk mengatasi pada kondisi anemia. Tetapi memang khusus pada penelitian kami, karena referensi yang kami dapatkan madu hutan itu yang lebih bisa bermanfaat untuk mengatasi anemia, maka kami memang terapinya menggunakan madu hutan. Seperti itu, Ibu.
Oh iya, thank you.
Terima kasih. Ya, saya kembalikan ke moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fauzia. Jadi yang digunakan madu hutan ya, kebetulan yang di penelitian ini. Research. Okay, thank you. For the last question, to Mr. Dr. Kodrat, you can answer about this question.
Yes, Ratna could be in groups, including infectious disease, NCD, disaster, MCI, health education, and COVID-19, etc. maybe for right now.
Okay. So you can make the grouping ya in this participant
Yeah.
or for your respondent. Okay. Thank you. No have question.
PPT of public in Scout.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Maybe no question again. And that is the last session. I'm so sorry if I have a mistake to be a moderator for all participants. But before we close this agenda, we need belum. I'm so sorry. Before we close this agenda, we will take a picture. Please show your video all. Can ya? Okay. Please show. Okay. Okay, start now ya. We will take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Okay, we will to give, before we close, we will to give inform the best oral presentation. Wait a minute. Get the report. Okay, we will to give information about this, the best oral presentation in the room 2. The participant number 60, Mr. Satria, Eureka, and team. And the title is How Students' Mental Health Affected During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Congratulations for Mr. Satria and team. And we will to give certificate by email, yeah, by email. So we will, I think, tomorrow we'll to give certificate. Okay, thank you for all. I'm so sorry if I have mistake to be a moderator, and I will close with thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.